I was not planning to get the hypoglycemic vampire, but then my friend showed me the latest EP on Knock Knock and now I'm questioning several things about myself including my impulsive gambling behavior. Hi everyone, I'm Vimday, and in this guide, I'll be justifying my purchase of Hugo Vlad by discussing his kit, W-engine options, drive disc sets, and team compositions. Hugo is a burst DPS agent that uses a unique mechanic called totalize to deal significant damage. The totalize effect is only available during the stun window, and activates after Hugo uses an EX special attack or ultimate. What's interesting about totalize is that this mechanic will immediately end the stun window and return a small amount of days for each second of stun remaining. Triggering totalize will increase the damage multiplier of the skill used, reaching up to 1000% after maxing Hugo's core passive. And each second of stun remaining after triggering totalize will also increase this multiplier. Once again, do note that using an EX special attack or ultimate outside of stun will not trigger totalize. However, using Hugo's X special attack outside of stun will increase the days accumulated from this skill by 20%. When Hugo's chain attack hits an enemy, he'll gain a temporary crit value bonus. This is referred to as the Dark Abyss Reverb state, which lasts 6 seconds and is depicted by the following gauge. You can also activate this state when Hugo's attacks initiate stun on an enemy, but this can be difficult to trigger if Hugo is paired with an aftershock agent or an agent with summons. This is because aftershocks and summons can start stun windows. Pairing Hugo with a stun agent can increase his attack stat based on his core passive level. And having a stun or ice agent in the squad will activate his additional ability, increasing the damage of his chain attack, and providing an additional damage bonus to the skill that triggers totalize. Since Hugo's damage stems from his totalize mechanic, it's important that we provide Hugo with as much crit rate as possible. We really don't want the most important mechanic in his kit missing critical hits. Hugo starts off with 5% crit rate, but we can increase this value by leveling up his core skill to rank E. Hugo also gains a temporary 12% crit rate bonus in combat when he initiates the stun window or uses a chain attack. The remaining crit rate will need to be acquired through a crit rate engine or disc, 2-piece Puffer Electro, and drive disc substats. For crit value engines, you actually have a lot of options to choose from. Myriad Eclipse is Hugo's signature engine that provides a lot of crit value. At phase 1, it grants an unconditional 45% crit damage bonus, and a temporary defense shred bonus whenever the equipper uses an EX special attack, chain attack, or ultimate. However, if you don't plan to pull for Hugo's engine, then you should consider other crit value options. For engines with a crit rate main stat, you have Deep Sea Visitor, Heartstring Nocturne, Cordis Germana, and Steel Cushion. Deep Sea Visitor is a great option because it provides an unconditional ice damage bonus. This engine also grants additional crit rate when basic attacks and dash attacks are used. However, since Hugo's dash attack deals physical damage, you will not activate the additional 10% crit rate bonus from performing his dash attack. As for the other conditional 10% crit rate, just make sure you tap basic attack before totalize. Heartstring Nocturne is fine, as it provides a lot of crit damage, but you will not benefit from the fire resistance bonus provided by the Heartstring passive. Cordis Germana grants unconditional crit rate, and uses a stack mechanic to grant additional buffs with basic attack and EX special attack. At 2 stacks, the equipper gains an electric damage bonus, which Hugo won't benefit from, but he will benefit from the defense ignore that's granted when using an ultimate or basic attack. Steel Cushion is a good free-to-play stat stick option. The equipper gains a damage bonus when attacking an enemy from behind, and this actually complements his EX special attack, since this skill places Hugo behind the enemy. But the same cannot be said for his ultimate, unfortunately. As for crit damage engines, you have Riot Suppressor, Severed Innocence, and Zanshin Herbcase. Riot Suppressor is a stat stick option that provides crit rate. Severed Innocence grants a ridiculous amount of crit damage, and Zanshin Herbcase provides an unconditional crit rate bonus, and a temporary crit rate bonus when an enemy is stunned. If you don't have any of these S-rank engines on your account, then Mercado Desire can be used for the 20% crit rate main stat. It also gives an attack bonus after using an EX special attack or chain attack, making this a great F2P choice for Hugo. If Mercado Desire is not available, then you can consider Cannon Rotor, Gilded Blossom, Starlight Engine, or Street Superstar. For drive disc sets, your best option will be 4-piece Hormone Punk, which is kind of a controversial set, due to its 20-second cooldown. But if you keep Hugo off field until the stun window, then this shouldn't be an issue. However, if you often find yourself fat-fingering buttons and keys, then you're going to have a problem with this set. If this is a concern, then I would suggest going with either Puffer Electro or Woodpecker Electro. They're less error-prone, and allow you to have Hugo on field without being punished for it. Puffer Electro buffs ultimate damage and grants a temporary attack bonus after using an ultimate, while Woodpecker Electro gives a temporary stacking attack bonus after using a basic attack, dodge counter, or EX special attack. If you're planning to use Dialin with Hugo, then I would suggest using Puffer Electro, since Dialin can occasionally upgrade a chain attack to an ultimate. Dialin won't have this passive available for every stun window, but if you're conservative with Hugo's decibels, then you'll have an ultimate available for most. As for Woodpecker Electro, it's not his best set, but it is an option. With this set, you'll want to use his basic attack, then EX special attack during the stun window to gain a 16% attack bonus for totalize. If you really dislike conditional passives, and hate farming, or if your account is new, then 222 is another option. The sets you choose will depend on your stats and team composition, but 2-piece Woodpecker Electro with 2-piece Hormone Punk, and 2-piece Polar Metal is a great starting point. I wouldn't suggest using 4-piece Polar Metal or 4-piece Dawn's Bloom unless you don't care about damage, and only want him on field, for reasons. Branch and Blade Song might look tempting because it provides a lot of crit value, but it's not necessary, and Hugo's Anomaly Mastery is too low to activate the set's passive. But you could make this work, and I have a short video on this set if you're interested in knowing more. Anyway, for main stats, we want crit rate or crit damage on slot 4, and attack percent on slot 6. As for slot 5, this will depend on teammates and current endgame content. If Lighter is on the team, then attack and pen should be considered. And if Hugo does not have his signature engine, or is up against an enemy with high defense, then a pen disc should be regarded. But if you're still unsure, just go with ice damage or whichever disc has the best substats. Speaking of substats, crit rate is top priority, then crit damage and attack percentage. As for teammates, Hugo really wants to be paired with 2 stun agents. Having at least 1 stun agent on the team will activate Hugo's core passive attack bonus, and since totalize can only occur during the stun window, it's important to reach the stun state as often as possible. When forming a team, try to select stun agents that have synergistic supportive capabilities. For example, Hugo paired with Lighter and Lycon works really well because both agents provide buffs that are beneficial to everyone on the squad. I would also recommend having at least 1 stun agent on the team that can serve as an on-field DPS until the stun window occurs. This is really important if Hugo is using 4-piece Hormone Punk. If you don't have a second stun agent available, then an agent with supportive capabilities can be used instead. However, Hugo should have at least 1 stun agent on the team to activate his core passive and additional ability. When entering combat, use your stun agents to accumulate days and initiate the stun window. Once the target is stunned, use Hugo's chain attack, then his EX special attack or ultimate to totalize. When up against bosses, you can take advantage of chain cancel to utilize Hugo's chain attack twice before totalize. This involves canceling the chain cycle with Hugo, and then initiating the chain again with a heavy attack from another agent. Initiating the chain attack in this way will allow Hugo to perform a second chain attack, which can be followed up with an EX special attack or ultimate to totalize the target. If you're a connoisseur that wants to appreciate your new purchase, then you can consider the following on-field combos. Pressing basic attack up to 4 times will perform Hugo's basic attack string. However, if you press basic attack again, you will follow up with a charged shot. To save your finger from early onset arthritis, you can also achieve this combo by holding his 4th basic attack. This ranged attack is not part of his basic attack string, however, it is treated as a basic attack and will deal basic attack damage. This mechanic is sprinkled throughout Hugo's kit, allowing him to perform these ranged attacks after using a dodge counter, quick assist, assist follow-up, and ultimate. I think I did enough yapping to justify my purchase, so we're ending the video here. But hopefully this guide was helpful. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. And let me know in the comments below who you plan to pair with Hugo. Bye!